video. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about tool belts, but more specifically, a couple of tips to keep you and people around you safe when you're working. Tool belts are a great device. They make us work faster, more efficient. No need to make trips, bend over, hurt our back, and just everything is better. You're quicker, got everything right there, and they're fun too. They're customizable. You get everything you want right there. But if used improperly, they can cause some damage to you, like say your back, for example, or others, dropping a hammer somewhere. You don't want that to happen, so today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit more about tool belt safety. The first tip I have for you today is to take care of your tool belt. Breaking, damaging over time, it's going to happen to the best of the best tool belts. But there are things you can do to ease that up, and we have other videos at our website or on our YouTube channel on how to take better care of it, like cleaning it regularly, taking out old tools you don't need, not abusing it by hitting it against other things or scratching too much. So prevention, that's a great way to help yourself later on. Another quick tip is make sure things are fully secure inside your tool belt. Got a clamp, for example, say it's open a little bit more. If I put this, so I got it open, this right here has a really big top weight. It's really heavy out there. And if I have something open like this, if I move, you can see that's just a recipe for danger. If I'm over someone, if I'm on some height, this falls, this has got some weight. And if that on your head, that's gonna cause some really serious damage. So make sure everything is fully in there and kind of think about where's the heavy parts of tools. Get those in there so it really secures it in there. You don't want anything half out, half in. You don't want it resting. No, put it in there. Get it fully with the weight helping you secure it down. The next tip is to make sure you have the right tool belt for what you're doing. Tool belts, manuals, guidebooks, they may have one, they may not, but they generally have specific use cases that they're recommended for and certain situations that they're not. Don't try and put yourself or your tool belt in a situation that it's not meant to handle. If you're loading up 20 pounds of, you're putting tons of nails on each side and it's only meant to hold a little bit, if it's a really thin leather, little cheap nylon one, you're putting yourself or others in danger or just planning to make a mess if it rips. So understand the capabilities and the specific use cases of your tool belt and act accordingly. If your tool belt isn't meant to do something, maybe it's okay for a little bit, but don't push it too much. Another good practice, like cleaning it and taking care of it, is to inspect it on occasion to make sure there's no damage to anything. Ripped seams or rivets, which are like these leather staples right here, should be inspected every so often to make sure it still looks good. You should make it a practice just every couple weeks or whatever, just consciously take a look over it, make sure everything looks good. If something small on the outside starts to rip or a small seam, that's probably okay. But if some rivet like at the top right here or here, or one of these, whereas it seems to be holding a lot of weight, if one of those starts to rip or pull out, that's likely to escalate soon if you don't stop it, put another rivet in, sew it, or ease up on the weight on that side. So take care by making sure it doesn't get too bad in the first place by checking that there's no super bad damage initially. Another tip is to ensure that the loops you're using are the right size. What I mean by that are this R-Dog one has loops on both sides and here, and a hammer loop kind of. This one's steel. This right here, this R-Dog one is meant for larger hammers, just medium large hammers, so that's gonna fit in there properly. Have it on the back too, slide that right in there, no problem. However, I have this old hammer right here that's pretty small, and this one right here can go in this small one, which is where I'd recommend it. If you're not careful and you put it in something like this, and you walk around, it's gonna fall over. You need to be able to know that your tools are able to be secure in loop pockets because these are much more likely to have something slide through. Same thing with a screwdriver. Don't try and put a screwdriver in a loop pocket like, oh yeah, it's fine right there. You bump it, something like that, it's gonna push through. You don't want that. Make sure that your loops, you know how big they are and that you know, given a good shake, that your tools are gonna stay secure. Utility blades are a great tool, super useful, but they're very dangerous with the razor blades. It's good practice, not just with a tool, but anywhere, but always make sure that blade is stowed whenever you're using it. Furthermore, even if it's closed, it's best practice to always put these with the blade facing down away from you so that you're never just gonna grab it, accidentally open it. You always wanna have the head of it where you're grabbing it. So any of your sharp tools really, wire cutters for example, you're probably, most of the time you're gonna be okay leaving it up, but having something sharp like this, why put it to a chance that you're gonna nick yourself or scratch yourself, and just take it, put it down where it's got these nice rubber handles. It makes it much easier. So whenever you've got a sharp tool, chisel for example, utility knife, close it, cover it, and put it face down so that you keep yourself safe. Another tip when climbing a ladder is to make sure you don't have things on your back. Some people, which I agree, recommend that you should take your tool belt completely off if you're climbing a ladder. That's the most safe. Just like it's the most safe not to do construction at all. That's not always an option. However, the least you can do, take that belt. If you have a hammer on your back, that could be paralyzing. If you fall on that, get in your back, just take it off. It's so easy. Put it, even if you don't have a slot right here, drop it in here. Just take it off your back. It's the least you can do to give yourself some safety if you're climbing a ladder. Put it there. Yeah, it looks a little funny. Yeah, it takes an extra second, but save yourself the trouble if something were to happen, of not having it on your back and reducing the chance of anything happening. Hopefully it doesn't, but we want to give ourselves the most efficiency and the safest experience as possible when working on a job. Hopefully you found these tips useful today. Maybe you'll be able to put some into practice. If so, let us know if you learned anything in the comments. Or you can go to our website and check us out for more info, our blog page, or purchase these tool belts. Heavy duty, last a long time. Get them individually or as a package at rdawg.com. That's rdawg.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.